Hello, Canyon Lake. For more than a decade, the city of Canyon Lake has struggled with crippling budget deficits, driven primarily by drastic and ongoing increases in the costs of our contracts with the county for police and fire services. Despite the fact that Canyon Lakers willingly burden themselves with a utility users tax, the cost increases imposed upon the city by these two contracts have outpaced revenues. Since the UT was approved 6 years ago, the cost of the city's cooperative agreement with the county for fire services has increased 79%. The City Council has led with bold action, implementing new programs that generate revenue while enhancing quality of life, such as the EMS subscription program. These programs, along with various cost-cutting measures, have balanced the city's budget. However, we know that future significant cost increases are just around the corner. The county recently signed a new 3-year agreement with the state of California for the services of CAL FIRE. This new agreement will cost the county $25.5 million more than the previous 3-year contract. We know that approximately 50% of those additional costs will be passed down to the 19 cities that contract with the county for fire services. It has become clear that if the city is to survive, and if we hope to avoid steep increases in taxes and fees for service, we must find another way of providing public safety services. After 2 years of extensive research, exploring every conceivable option, including a very thorough feasibility analysis conducted by the reputable public safety consulting firm Emergency Services Consulting International, the facts and data collected pointed unmistakably to the conclusion that Canyon Lake could establish and operate its own fire department, providing the same, if not higher, level of fire and emergency medical services at significant savings to Canyon Lake taxpayers. On November 4th of last year, the City Council voted unanimously to move forward with the formation of a City of Canyon Lake Fire Department. Today, I am very pleased to announce that the city has selected Chief Jeff Latendress to serve as the city's fire department startup consultant with the working title of Interim Fire Chief. Chief Latendress will work alongside city staff and the City Council's Fire Ad Hoc Committee to establish a municipal fire department owned and operated by the City of Canyon Lake, with the goal of going live with the new Canyon Lake Fire Department on January 1st, 2022. Chief Latendress comes to Canyon Lake with 30 years of fire and EMS experience, having held almost every position in the fire service while working his way up the ranks in departments throughout Southern California. He is also a veteran of the United States Air Force, having served abroad as a fire protection specialist, responding to aerospace, structural, and medical emergencies. Chief Latendress retired from the Laguna Beach Fire Department in 2017, where he served in various positions for 20 years, the last 5 years as fire chief. Prior to that, he served as battalion chief and fire marshal for the Cathedral City Fire Department, an engineer and paramedic for the Indio Fire Department, an emergency medical technician for McCormick Ambulance Service, a paid call firefighter for the Apple Valley Fire Protection District, and fire explorer for the Redondo Beach Fire Department. I can tell you that when the city posted this position in November, we weren't sure what kind of response to expect. As it turned out, we were blown away by the positive and supportive comments from many in the fire community and by the number and quality of the applications received. Chief Latendress was chosen out of a candidate pool of 38 applicants. The top 6 applicants were invited to interview in front of a 7-member panel consisting of myself, the assistant city managers of the cities of Lake Elsinore and Wildomar, the assistant county executive officer for public safety, the fire chief for the city of Murrieta, and the 2 members of the Canyon Lake City Council who serve on the city's Fire Ad Hoc Committee. Chief Latendress stood out from the very beginning of the application process. While we received a strong number of qualified applicants, Chief Latendress's background, his experience, his performance during the interview, and his professional approach and demeanor made him the clear choice. He impressed the interview panel, demonstrating that he possesses the right knowledge, attitude, and work ethic to get the job done. I am confident that we found the right individual to help us stand up our Canyon Lake Fire Department. With that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Canyon Lake Interim Fire Chief Jeff Latendress.
Thank you for that incredible introduction, Mr. Mann. I can first and foremost state that I am honored and humbled to have been chosen as the interim fire chief for the city of Canyon Lake. As a city manager already identified, I have extensive background in fire and emergency services here in Southern California over the last 30 years. Everything that I have done in my career will assist the city as we build our fire department. This will be an incredible yet manageable task. The city was fortunate to have retained Emergency Services Consulting International, and their work has provided us with a roadmap to follow as we begin our operations. Note that I said we. Note previously that I said our department. This will not be a one-person job, but it will be a team effort of city staff, stakeholders in the community, partners in government, and even private enterprise as this new fire department will be formed. We will use this roadmap that will provide us, and I'm sure we will hit a speed bump along the way, but we will keep our mission focused and will be ready to deliver fire and life-saving services on time. Also remember that those fire and life-saving services will not be interrupted during this process. CAL FIRE Riverside County will continue to staff and respond from Station 60. AMR will continue to staff their facility at the town center. The outstanding services you have received from these two agencies will not change. The decision to start the Canyon Lake Fire Department was not because we were unhappy with these services. It was because the city could not maintain fiscal sustainability with the projected cost increases. We are grateful to have CAL FIRE Riverside County, AMR, Riverside County Emergency Management Department, and our neighboring cities to help us through this process. So what happens next? In the next few weeks, the City Council will be asked to lease purchase 2 new fire vehicles, one for city response and one for wildland response. These units can take up to a year to build, and the orders need to be placed immediately. At the same time, I will be going out to the community and meeting with our stakeholders and partners to build relationships that need for the task ahead. These include our neighboring fire agencies, communities, emergency medical services partners, and even state and federal agencies with whom we must interact as a fire department. In the 11 months come, we will hire 11 new firefighters and about a dozen or more reserve personnel. These personnel will be experienced firefighters and paramedics who want to serve the city of Canyon Lake. All will meet the state's minimum requirements for firefighter. The city's personnel will be trained in the city's procedures, equipment, and apparatus, and we will be ready for operations on January 1, 2022. Yes, there is a lot of work that needs to be done to be ready for this date, but I want to assure the residents, the business community, and the visitors we will be ready. I will be working closely with City Manager Chris Mann and extremely capable city staff, and we will be providing monthly updates at City Council meetings and will be using the forms of government to keep the community informed. I have an office at City Hall, so please feel free to give me a call and reach out to me. Again, I thank you for this honor to serve, and I look forward to being your interim fire chief.